Show. We watched the notorious RBG, searched for Oscar-worthy movies, and Jason ate all the candy. Let's do this thing.
Risk-a-hockey.
This episode of The Big Show is brought to you by voting. Go do it. And Patreon supporter Chris Sneathen. Thanks, Chris.
Hey everybody, it's The Big Show, episode 334 for October 28th, 2018. I'm Jason.
I'm Anna.
And we just finished carving pumpkins.
Really not that bad.
Pretty epic.
Really?
No. You made Olaf, so that's good.
No, I didn't. I just made a happy pumpkin.
A happy pumpkin.
A happy Halloween. I make a real simple face. It doesn't need to be more than that. You put a light in it, it lights up.
Yeah.
Good to go.
I did the stencil this year, the crow on the tree thing cut out, and actually those new cutting tools we got worked really, really well for that.
Good.
So, not bad. Also, we got did you buy the candy at Costco?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all gone. So I've eaten all that already. So we're giving out pennies and batteries again this year. So actually, all I've been eating out of it are the Almond Joys.
Oh, I found one good. Reese's cup, and that's it.
Yeah, it's mostly
M&Ms.
Yeah, and Elliot found out that it was open last night, and she's freaking out, right? She's like,
she told me,
"What are we gonna do? We gotta go buy more candy." I'm like, "No."
I thought it was really funny because I was like, "We're not even gonna be home on Halloween. We're going trick or treat at a friend's house. We're literally gonna leave it in a bowl and just let karma work its way out. If somebody takes it all, I don't care.
There you go.
I just want it gone."
So, anyway, that's happening.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. So last night we watched RBG.
Yes.
Which is on Hulu if you want to watch that for free. And I don't know, they probably put commercials in it if you don't pay to not have commercials.
I don't know.
How do they do it on movies? I never watch movies on Hulu. But yeah, we watched it and it was really good.
It was great. I'm completely ignorant and I didn't realize that she was so involved in women's rights, equality. Well, equal rights, just not even for just equal rights, men and women. Arguing at the Supreme Court for a long time.
Yeah, like as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Taking these critical cases up in front of all these men who have no idea of how the real world is and like kicking ass. So
yeah, it was
funny.
Pretty cool.
And that's also a great love story with her and her husband and how much he like loved her and wanted her to succeed and saw her potential and rallied for her and it was a really good story.
It was pretty cool.
And then now we're all just hoping she never ever dies.
No. Well, and you know, somebody specifically, Nina Totenberg asked her, you know, shouldn't you have retired when Obama was president so that he could have replaced you on the court? Because now a president who you very clearly don't like is there. And she's like, I will retire when I can no longer do the job. So we're like, hang in there, Ruth.
Of course, at that point, everyone's like, Trump's not going to win. What's the issue, right? It's going to be Hillary.
Yeah.
So, anyway, great movie. Very eye-opening.
Yeah, I want Elliot to watch it. She might be bored.
She'll be bored, probably.
I want her to watch it.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know what it means to argue to the Supreme Court or, you know.
But on that same vein, she watched Hidden Figures on her own.
Yeah, on her own.
Made her cousins watch it.
Yeah.
And, which is great because, you know, we live in because of people like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Martin Luther King and all this stuff, we live in such a different world now, and she's growing up in such a different world. So it's like, how do you teach kids now about how awful the world was? The world is still awful, but it was so much worse. And to kind of have like an understanding of where we are and where we're going without just like trying to tell it. But it's just because Hidden Figures is great because it's anti-woman, anti-African-American.
Yeah.
And so not only, and math. So another thing that Elliot needs to be
girls doing math. Yeah, it was pretty
jazzed about. So it's funny that she watched it and kind of got some sort of at least historical picture of that.
She talked about it. It's funny. She just couldn't believe treatment. I remember being that way as a kid too, and I also remember being taught in public school that racism is over.
Yeah.
We won! Equal rights for everybody.
Well, yeah, when you grow up in Montana.
When there are only white people.
All white people.
Yeah, the Native Americans all live on the reservation, who, by the way, are not treated equally, but we didn't know that. It was, not until we moved to Georgia that we were like, oh, well, y'all are still racist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's not just Georgia; it's
now,
everywhere. But
it
now
was
we
like
in your face.
When you
Georgia.
find out about Oregon's past, you're like, oh my god, what a horrible place.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, because we found it trying to explain 9/11 to Elliot. Because this year we did that a little bit, and you showed her some videos.
She learned about it this year.
And it's like, yeah, people did, because you try and keep them in their nice little happy bubble, and then you slowly try and bring them out of it, I guess. But.
Yeah, so her class learned about it a little bit this year, and it was, I think, she had sort of heard somebody talk about 9/11 before, but had never really known, and we were not going to take her there. But she's old enough now, and it's interesting because somebody in her class asked the teacher about it because it was 9/11 on the day. And so the teacher started talking about it and started crying a little bit. And then they were in Spanish class, and the Spanish teacher was living in New York City at the time with her kids. And so they asked her about it, and she started crying talking about it. So then Elliot brings it home to me, and I started crying talking about it. And she's like, it's been 17 years, Mom.
What happened?
I know. And I'm just like, it's a really big deal. I don't want to talk about that day. But
Yeah.
so that was difficult. I was just not even, mostly my goal was not to scare her about flight travel. And but then we, we kind of talked a little bit about like what terrorists have done too. And I said, most of their attacks have actually been on like London and Paris. And were we attacked by terrorists this summer when we were there? No. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, at least we went there first. So.
Yeah. She didn't know anything about all this. Remember the guys with those really big rifles outside of Notre Dame? There's a reason for that.
Remember when we were at the Eiffel Tower and then we came down and no one was there?
It was evacuated?
What happened?
Yeah.
Something could have happened while
Terrorism.
we were there. We didn't know. We're just the dumb Americans. Anyway. Do you want to talk about TV or Oscar possible movies? Let's talk about Oscar bait movies because we have the Delta
I
Park
don't know why you asked me the question.
super fans. Why do I ask you questions and then I answer it myself?
I do know.
We have the super fans Facebook group and we asked some questions in there, and one of them was, what was the movie that you're most anticipating for Oscar season? And everyone's just like, A Star Is Born.
Oh.
Okay. And a lot of people like it. I'm not really jazzed about a Bradley Cooper or Lady Gaga movie, but remake. But I know a lot of people that watch it like it.
We liked The Greatest Showman, so I suppose we should give it a chance.
That's true. Oh my God, did you see? Oh,
think
did
Star
you
Is
watch the pink Greatest Showman cover? It's pretty good. So Elliot is obsessed with The Greatest Showman and the music of The Greatest Showman, and now there's a remix or cover album coming out with like Pink and Kelly Clarkson and Sarah Bareilles and all these people singing all the songs from it, and it's going to be nonstop in our house for the next 6 months. So we looked around on trailers to try and find some movies to watch.
There's
We're
nothing
like,
out there.
nothing is like, I mean, there's Mary Poppins, which you're not excited about.
Don't like Mary Poppins, you guys.
But it's got Lin-Manuel.
No, I don't care. And it's not that it's the second. I did not like the first Mary Poppins.
And Emily Blunt was so good.
Brutal.
In Day After Tomorrow.
Yes, she was. I liked her in Day After Tomorrow. And in Salmon Fishing in the Yemen.
I like her. And her husband's great, too.
Yeah, I don't want to watch. I don't think I could do Mary Poppins.
I'll probably watch it.
But I guess our kids could see it.
Probably.
It's so boring.
Yeah, but there's not the tip. We're just like, we're scrolling through. It's like, I can't even tell what is it. There's so many movies now.
I didn't recognize any actors.
I don't know anybody. I'm so old. I don't know anybody, and I haven't even like heard of them. Like normally I hear of things like on Facebook, or you overhear like the buzz of movies. Yeah. I've looked at
we were
articles.
Like, oh, Steve Guttenberg. Remember?
That's right. What was Steve Guttenberg?
I don't know. He was like the fourth listed on some trailer.
That's right. It was like closely.
Oh, we recognized somebody.
Yeah. So I don't know. Email us and maybe we'll talk about it in the next show.
I'm super bummed that there's not a Star Wars movie coming out at Christmas.
I know.
I need that to be my Christmas Eve tradition.
Yeah. And
So we're going to have to watch a movie.
they canceled the Boba Fett movie. They were going to do a standalone,
Yeah.
which is probably okay. They said we need to move forward, stop moving backward.
Yeah, stop with the standalones.
Solo.
At least Disney has actually, we can't bleed this dry.
Yeah. Well, they're going to start a new trilogy, so that'll be fun.
That's good.
Good for us. But yeah, there are basically no Oscar movies coming out this fall. And if there are, you can email us, jason@deltaparkproject.com.
If you think about it, weird movies were in it last year, like Shape of Water, which, if you would have seen the trailer for it, you wouldn't have considered it an Oscar movie.
No.
I don't think. Or even seen the just the little poster for it. So that might be what we're doing, is judging the posters.
Do you see what he's remaking now? Pinocchio. So I guess someone's going to have... They had sex with the water monster. Now
Now
they're
they're
going
going
to
to have sex with a wooden
Pinocchio.
puppet.
So yeah, I don't know. I can't find any movies I want to go see. Wreck-It Ralph is on our list. And...
I'll probably go to the Nutcracker with Elliot.
Oh. And
And-
the Nutcracker, the Clara, and,
And the
Four
Crimes
Elves
of Grindelwald.
Oh yeah, that's on your list.
We'll be going to that.
Yeah.
And we're going to go see Stephen Page, but I think we already talked about that last
Yeah,
time.
Stephen Page on November 16th. Now you know where we're going to be and what time. So
If you want to come hang
if you
out.
want to come hang out. But we have watched some new TV. So I watched The Connors, which is Roseanne after they killed off Roseanne for being a racist. And it's actually the same thing, pretty much. The first episode, they're all just really sad and don't know what to do about Roseanne not being there anymore. But it's all the same characters. And I watched, I think, one of the Roseanne reboot, and now I've watched one of The Connors, and I'm good. I'm
Okay.
not going to watch any more. But
I never watched that show to begin with,
Yeah.
so I don't care.
I really like John Goodman, but he's a little bit different in this. So he's in this first one especially, he's very sad. And then, of course, they tie in opioids. Like, she died from an opioid overdose and all this stuff.
Awesome.
So it's good. We watched Manifest on your recommendation. And we watched the pilot.
I can't decide.
So here's my fear. The pilot's great-ish. It was fun. It has a lot of cool ideas and mystery, right? They're on the plane. There's a little bloop, and then they're 5.5 years later they land.
Right.
And weird things happen. They're like hearing voices and things. So now I'm worried that to draw it out to a whole season, it's going to be like this lost mystery thing, and then there's going to be a cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah.
So, and all of this in the middle is just going to be...
And we don't have the energy for that anymore.
I don't.
So
I know...
I would like to give it another chance for the second episode, I think. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't know if I got it in me.
So you guys, I know some of you, Whitney said you had like 4 or 5 of them on your DVR. If you would watch all of those,
Just
let us know if you want to.
She's probably like, no, that's why I'm watching this. You're supposed to tell me if it's worth
Let us
it.
know if it's worth my time
We're not
because
sure.
I've got Amity Bloom and she doesn't go to bed until 8:30.
No, and I have a job that's unfortunately more than 40 hours a week. And I'm a parent.
So, but it looks cool. And there's really not, we haven't been into new TV lately. We watched, last year, all we watched was American Housewife, which makes us laugh because
hilarious.
we are an American housewife. And Reno 911, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
When is that coming back?
So it got canceled on Fox, but
Right.
it was an NBC show. So NBC said, "Oh, we'll put it back on." So I think it's coming out maybe January,
Okay.
but it's gonna be on NBC now. And that was about all we watched.
Yeah.
2 comedies, 2 half-hour comedies, and then it's like, "Oh my God, it's an hour show. I cannot watch an hour show. I can only watch half an hour." The Rookie.
It's not really my kind of thing.
Well, you did watch some of The Castle
Yeah.
because of Nathan Fillion,
Yeah,
or because
that's
you
really
liked
the only reason. And I'm already like, I don't think I can stick it out.
it? So I didn't really like the whole first 3/4 of it, just because of the way that there was all this hazing and crappy
Yeah.
cop stuff. But then, of course, by the end, they humanized everybody who was mean, everybody,
Yeah.
and sort of like gave them some likability, which would be good carrying into episode 2. Otherwise, I would not want to watch them be cruel and mean to each other the whole time. So, I don't know. I guess I could watch another one if it just happens to be I'm super bored and I don't want to watch it.
And I
but
do love Nathan Fillion.
It wasn't
watch
bad
it for him. No, it wasn't.
It was dramatic, and I liked his character a lot because he was so selfless and funny, and the way he interacted with people was very disarming, and he was
Right.
kind of a great cop because
He needs some
Yeah.
weaknesses, though. I want to see why. Like it's all about how his marriage ends, and then he sort of has a midlife crisis and becomes
he's
a cop.
old rookie.
So, what happened that his marriage ended? Was any of that on him? And I don't know. I'd just be curious. The only thing is that we're seeing flaws in other people. We're not seeing flaws in the main character.
Yeah, we saw a lot of flashes, like the one guy's wife and the one guy being a coward, and the other girl was hooking up with that, all of these things, and then the one guy not wanting the old cop there, and
Yeah.
they all have their thing, but he doesn't really. He is the through line for all of that.
Right.
So, anyway, Camping on HBO with Jennifer Garner and your good
God,
friend
it's
David Tennant.
Probably, yeah. He is so not scary in this, though.
He's
so
not.
it's okay. So that's the thing about him, and he is such a good actor that I can watch him in other things and not be like, because Ralph Fiennes, I have a really hard time watching him in anything else because of Red Dragon.
You're
and
referring
Voldemort.
to David Tennant from Jessica Jones.
Yes, he was so scary.
he
I
freaked you
had
out.
nightmares about him. He was so scary. But David Tennant is great and totally different than his Jessica Jones character.
But the show is, because Jennifer Garner's character is just so tight
Stick up her butt.
that it's uncomfortable to watch.
It's really stressful. And I don't like that kind of comedy. That's not,
Yeah.
it's funny, but I don't like that. Like, that's why kind of The Office, is for the British version of The Office. We would be able to watch maybe one episode, because we binged it back on the day when we got our DVDs in
Yeah.
the mail. And we tried to binge it, and we couldn't watch more than one episode at a time, because you're just like, oh, God, the discomfort level is too much.
Yeah.
And so that's where I am. And Camping is ramped way up for it. And so it's...
Because you've got her up
Making
here, and then you've got
everything not
people
fun and-
just,
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis naked in the water. So
Yeah.
it's not swimming day tomorrow. Swimming day.
Yeah. So I mean, something's gonna have to happen. There'll have to be some sort of arc with this story, but I'm not particularly interested in following
But Juliette Lewis naked.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of an HBO show, when it says nudity at the beginning.
You're like,
I'm like, yes, this is going to be worth it, even if it's uncomfortable. And I watched The Cool Kids, which I gave it 2.
what is Cool Kids?
It is Charlie Day from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and what else do you know him from? He's
Nothing.
the spaceman in the Lego movie. He is producing it, and he makes a little cameo in the beginning one. They also call that the pilot. And it's Martin Mull and Vicki Lawrence, which I haven't seen her since The Carol Burnett Show.
Right.
I don't know. She's
Mama's
pretty funny.
Family. She had a show.
And David Alan Grier and the little gay guy with glasses from that Burt Reynolds show. They're all these old people at a retirement home. They're not like super old. They're like 60s, 70s,
Right.
but they don't have like family or anything, so they just go and they live there. And so it's all of their escapades and about being old people. And I thought my parents would really like it. They would, actually. It's funny, but it's just like not enough to... There's not meaty enough to hold me. It's just all very slapsticky comedy and talking about old people getting drunk, and it's Vicki Lawrence's birthday, and she just was pouring rum on her pancakes, and then she's gonna just have a booze birthday, and then they're gonna take her to a club, and it's like turned into a twerk club, so it's like old people with new things, and I didn't even know they had twerk clubs, but
Yeah.
they do evidently. So
They did probably. That's got to
Yeah.
be out now.
that's probably over. So that's where I'm at.
Looking at a rundown.
Oh, sorry, I'm staring at my...
Looking down.
I have notes here so that our show is, not just a ramble.
Right.
Tell them about throwing away stuffed animals.
We have so many, and I have a big garbage bag full of them that I'm going to bring to Goodwill. I feel
Oh.
bad just put them in the garbage.
But who wants other people's stuffed
Lots
animals?
of people do. So at the moment, they're in the back of the van, and curious to see if anybody notices.
Let's just mail them to our Patreon supporters.
You get a Pinchy Pie.
You get a lion. Congratulations. So, anyway.
An otter. It's cool, but nobody likes it. Nobody cares about it. Nobody plays with it. So
Yeah.
it's gone.
What are you going to be for Halloween, Anna?
I don't know. I found a really cool Dia de los Muertos mask at Fred Meyer today.
Did you
For
buy
half
it?
off. I did. So I'm going to be a Dia de los Muertos.
Is Amity landed on anything? Because my costume is sort of dependent on her. So she was going to be a robot. And then
that's
not a
long
robot
since
anymore. We
over.
still have a box robot upstairs.
Fine.
And then she was going to be Little Red Riding Hood, and then I was going to be Grandma.
I thought that was great.
But I think she's moved on now to she wants to be a fairy of some kind. But it was a very cold costume, so she may switch back to something. So I need to have Grandma in as a backup. But
Right.
and then Elliot's going to be a Firefly.
Yeah. I guess I'll wear a mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, she's also wanted to be. She was also going to be Martin from Wild Kratts, and it changes every day. It's really funny. Our children are not similar.
No.
One of them plans and makes her decision months in advance and sticks to it, and that is what it is. The other one will change her mind possibly halfway through trick or treating and have to change her costume, and so. We're not buying her anything. I'm not, and she doesn't even have an idea that you can buy something
Right.
to dress up as. She has a costume closet that she's choosing from. So there you go.
Last year I went as a squirrel doctor.
Did I go as anything last year?
I don't think so.
I did go as. I think I went as Little Red Riding Hood the year before. Oh no, I went a witch. I was a witch.
And before
Red
that I
Dress.
was, Amity and I were Alice, and I was the rabbit, the white rabbit.
I could be a witch kid.
But I looked more like a rapping rabbit because I had that big
Oh
clock.
yeah, the clock.
And I had the hat. I had like the Mad Hatter hat.
Where'd that all go?
I bet it's down in the costume trunk in here.
There's the Jedi cape in here.
Yeah.
We should see what's in your costume.
Well, this was from when we did Harry Potter trivia
Oh.
in here. So, and was a broom in here too. I guess I could just go as Harry Potter because I think. Oh no.
We have some glasses somewhere,
Yeah,
and then you can.
I love being Harry Potter, but I think I want to go as Neville.
You gotta have the sword of Gryffindor. Carry the head of a snake.
Or I could just wear my Hufflepuff hat.
Spoiler alert!
So I think that's everything. Is that everything for this time
I think so.
on the big show? If you're, you should subscribe to us. Oh, here, let's just end the show. We'll say, bye, I'm Jason
I'm Anna.
Seacrest. Now, hey, if you're still watching, you can subscribe. Let's put it on Anna's face. Just click here to subscribe to us on YouTube. There's another video, maybe right here, that you can watch. And Patreon, if you want to support us on Patreon, maybe it's on my face.